All right. All right. So this is just a little spitballing episode. We're just going to do this live. So we have our communities. And let's say we have Mount Vernon, Fort Hunt. And we have Old Town. Let's number these. We have Old Town. We have Hayfield, Kingstown. I guess we could say Springfield, maybe as a separate. We have Arlington, Annandale. All right, so let's just look at those because that's a kind of a sort of local, right? I mean, maybe we have a Lorton, Annandale, Arlington, Springfield, Hayfield, Kingstown, Hamilton. So let's just call that. Now the question becomes, I think it's frequency, right? Because we are going to have a grouping of people, a network of people in each of these areas. And the question is, how frequently should we have a lunch? So, and what are our options? Monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly. Now, there's two pieces, right? If we said that we had a monthly lunch in Mount Vernon, a monthly lunch in Old Town, a monthly lunch in Hayfield, a monthly lunch in Springfield, then at that point, monthly, we would have first Monday or first Friday, second Friday, third Friday, fourth Friday, right? So in that community, you could say, we reach out to those people and invite them to that. The people who are hungrier for more networking can do this, right? Now, then the question becomes, what happens when you add, Vienna, McLean, Tyson's, is it a situation where if you did it bi-monthly, I mean, we're basically saying every other month we do a community networking group lunch in Mount Vernon. That would mean still you have on a weekly basis different lunches, and the question is, do you do them the ones right next to each other, or do you stagger them? Where does Network Palooza come into all this? Now the other thing, of course, is if you had an appetite for monthly, you could still do it, and you could have it be on different days, obviously, or you could just say Mount Vernon is meeting, the same day as Annandale. You just have some overlap. Or if you do it quarterly, then you really have the opportunity for 12 without any overlap. So the question is, and you don't need to have it be the West Potomac necessarily thing. I mean, you can have, Hayfield and South County can be at Hayfield, and, Wakefield and Yorktown, and I don't know. That's the question. You have 30 school pyramids. So the question, I guess, is also, what is it that we're trying to accomplish here? On some level, there's value in having a weekly Friday thing, but having it be with a different target, and that it be a coalescing event, right? So it's a situation where, and this is, I think, important, it's a situation where this Friday event is a 3-month event for the host, and it's a weekly event for the out of area attendees. So now I don't know if that's a good idea, but that's an idea. The concept would be, we want to have a weekly lunch, and that is a hypothesis. Who knows if that's a good idea? But let's say, for the sake of argument, we want to have a weekly lunch. And from a business perspective, the restaurant perspective, they are delighted that we're bringing 50 people in. Now, can we get 12 venues? This is where big and little become a challenge. I mean, if I tomorrow had a networking lunch, I mean, if we do this as a monthly, then it's going to be we need to have people. We're not going, that's the only thing we're talking about right now is Mount Vernon and Hayfield. Whereas if we looked at that as a launch, like we talk about the quarterly networking event, but we want a quarterly networking event that is, encompassing everybody. These are the community networking events. But do we need a weekly networking event? If you said Mount Vernon was every other month, or Mount Vernon was every month, Old Town was every month, Hayfield was every month, Springfield was every month, you've got a weekly with 4 territories. And that's a good for people who are looking for networking opportunities. It's not that much of a logistics issue. It's just a place, per se. Then the question becomes, in that territory, who is growing that territory? Now, that's where having an agent would make a lot of sense, right? If we had an old, or maybe this is ALX, this is Amon, this is me, this is somebody else, this is somebody else, this is somebody else, this is somebody else. And so that's the person who's really growing out the community networking element of it. And we schedule a kickoff, but we can start to host things as a soft launch for the kickoff of the community. And then all we really need to do is commit to either once a month or once every other month or once a quarter in order to have a weekly presence. So you could then at that point say, on every week in Northern Virginia, you're going to be able to connect with a network event that is run by us in different areas, and that is helping grow, connect, support one of our target communities. So think about that.